This is the online version of Outlook that we're going to be moving to from the server version. I just want to run through some of the differences between the two programs. I'm going to start from left to right on this pane, and we'll start with the waffle icon up here. This has all of the Microsoft 365 apps. We don't really need to get into these. There's multiple different ways to access them. This is just one of those ways. You've got your mail right here, and you've got a calendar, which is the same as you've always had, and it should have all of the dates and everything that you have lined up for them. Below that is the OneDrive, and this is a new feature that we'll be talking about in the future in another video and in a staff meeting. The OneDrive is going to replace everything that is on the server that belongs to you personally. So if you've downloaded an image or saved a video and you put it into your folder in the V drive, or you put it on your desktop, or you put it someplace where only you would be able to access it, that is what the OneDrive will be in the future. And that's all cloud based, and it's a Microsoft product that ties together with everything else. But right now, that's it. It's just the OneDrive. And then this is the Microsoft To Do app, which I just want to point out, make sure everybody's aware that it exists. And if you want to use it in your workflow, feel free. I'm going to go back to the email right now because that's what we're talking about. These hash marks here will hide the navigation pane or open it up. And you start out with your favorites, just like on the server. You should have everything pretty much in order, in the same order that you want. If you want to change things, you can just grab them and move them, and then move them back to wherever they came from or wherever you want them. And then I've got categories here or labels, and then folders. And this email is the info at Mount Tabor Veterinary Care that everybody knows and loves. If I click on the caret, it opens it up. And if I click on inbox, I can jump into that inbox and start working from there. But I think we all agree that would be pretty dangerous. So I'm going to just stay in my own inbox, do my own work, and I'm going to jump over here to view. And in the view, you can see one of the things that's different is the ribbon is a lot different on the online version than it is on the server version. So you can go into view settings. There shouldn't be much that you really need to get into here. These are the way your email is set up. It should be very similar to the way it was set up on the server. But if you want to play around with it, if you didn't like how it was set up in the server and you want to change some things, feel free to get in here and look at the settings and see if there's maybe something that's going to work better for you. There is one thing in here that I want to call out for everybody, and that's in the compose and reply. The email signature is something that Mila is going to set up for everybody. So she's going to walk around, she's going to access your Outlook, and she's going to make sure that your email signature matches the one that's on the server email right now. And then I also wanted to call out this undo send feature and just make sure everybody was aware that it exists. And if you have it, great. If you don't know what it is, I'm going to do a quick 5 seconds here. The undo send allows you to pick a time. I have it set to 5 seconds. You can set it as high as 10, and it will delay the send of that email, and it'll allow you to undo the sending of the email until the 5 seconds elapses. So this happens most for me because I might make an error and I don't add somebody to a CC, or I don't add an attachment to an email that needs an attachment, and I hit send, and then I go, oh my God, I need to put the attachment on there. This allows me to call that email right back, add the attachment, and send it off, and no one's the wiser. So that's the thought there. Now, if you scroll over, messages is not that important. You go to layout, and I'm going to click on ribbon. You can change this to the classic ribbon, which is something you might prefer if you're used to the server version of Outlook. This might be something that makes the transition a little easier for you. Um, I am going to click this for mine because I do want to show this my work. I do like having the calendar and tasks over here available to me while I'm working in email. So I am going to do that, but then I'm going to change my ribbon back to simplified. And then if you click on these three dots, you can customize what shows up there. So you can add, if I wanted to add density, I can show that, and then that'll pop up over there too. So um, now it's there. And if I want to change the way that things look when they come into to me, I can do that. And I'm just going to put it back to Rumi, which is where I had it. So you can see on this ribbon, it is a little more streamlined. It looks a little bit different than the server version. I'll start with the new email. Let's say we wanted to start a new email, and I'm going to send myself an email, and I'm going to write hello, and I'm going to do Pam. Hello. There's a few things here that I want to point out. I can send this as is right now. I can schedule the send. So if I wanted to send it tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., I can do that as well. Or I can pick a custom time and do it like a year from now. But for right now, I'm just going to send it. And I can click undo down here. So that just brought it right back to me. That's the feature that we were talking about a little while ago. And I'm going to do that because I want to actually send it from the info@Mount Tabor inbox here, not from my own email. So I'll go ahead and call that back and do that. You can also see that now that we started an email, you have access to all of the things that you would normally see on the server as far as formatting, changing color text, putting in bullets, adding an attachment, adding a link, any of those additional things. This is also something that you can customize, so you can go down here to more options and add more options if you want. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and hit send, and then that is sent. You can see it's sending. I can undo it again, or I can just let it go, and I'm going to let it go. And then over on this side of the aisle, let's say once I highlight one of these emails, you can see that all of this functionality pops up and is highlighted, and so I can now start doing this. So I could create a rule for this email, and you might want to do that if you're getting like a bunch of emails from the PVMA that you really want to keep but you don't want to read. You can just have all the PVMA emails go into a single folder, and then you can go look at them like once a week or once a month, whenever it seems like it makes sense to you. Delete, archive, report. This is a good place where you can just report as junk for things that you don't want to keep getting. Move to, you can move to any one of your folders or archive. This is where some of the functionality duplicates itself. You can reply all forward. You can see all of those are down here too on the actual email that we have highlighted. So that's just Microsoft having fun being Microsoft. You can also snooze this email. So let's say it was you just came in the morning, you've got a lot going on and you're not going to be able to read the email, but you do want to read it later in the day. You can choose a date and time for when you do want to reread that email. You can mark read or unread, and then this is where you can set your categories, so you can make a new category, manage categories, or just label it as like reading. This is something that I need to read. You can pin it, flag it. All of those are duplicated over here, so more fun. You can archive it straight from right here. You can flag it from here, or you can pin it from here. When I pin it, it just pins it to the top of my inbox. And this, rather than snoozing an email, this is another option that you could take, so that every email that comes in is going to fall below that email. It's always going to be at the top. So let's say if I had the weekly email in here, which I don't think I do, but let's say I had like the weekly email. I knew I wasn't going to have any, there's no way I was going to read this at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to have to come back to it maybe after lunch. I can pin it so it's there. I don't have to go fishing for it. Another thing I could do, if it was important and maybe there's some follow-up that I needed to do, I could grab it and I could drag it over to my tasks, and then I leave it in here, and when I need it, I can just open it up and then start working inside that email from right there. But for right now, I'm just going to pin it, and I'm going to leave it pinned. And then on this particular thing here, I want to mention that these are also customizable. If you hit these three dots, you can go to customize actions, and then you can add whatever thing in here that you want to add. So you can see I added save as, and I added print to my emails, because those are two functions that I need to do a ton with receipts or with things that need to be attached in QuickBooks. So I can just easily save it, or I can print it and save it, or do whatever I need to do from there. You can also see you've got reply and forward down here, so there's like 6 different ways that you can manage your reply or forward. Up on the top over here, I just want to mention OneNote briefly, and it is very similar to Evernote if you're familiar with it. It's a great app within Microsoft, but it is something that would take a little. It's worth checking out, but we're not going to talk about it right now. But I would definitely recommend taking a look at OneNote, because it is a great place to archive articles, features, web links, and organize all of the things that you need to organize. My day, we talked about, is this. It's the calendar and it's the to-do. And then I just wanted to hit this notifications bell quickly. You notice that when I wrote my name, I wrote @Pam, and it shows up here in this notification. So it's just a way for me to see, like, where was I mentioned in an email, and what do I need to make sure that I'm keeping track of. You can also see on the email itself, when I jump off of it, it has an @ symbol on it, which means I was mentioned in it. So we're not using this across the board in the hospital. I just wanted to show you that it is a function, and that's that. I hope that this is a good first start to using Outlook Online, and we will get better with it. Once we get the Outlook Online going, we'll move on to the next steps. We'll have a staff meeting on Wednesday, and we'll talk about it more.